All right, we're live already. Welcome to today's Q&A. You guys thank you very much for being here. We've got lots to celebrate today, so welcome. Today is the 28th of January, Tuesday the 28th. My name is Jessie, and here at Decker Truckline, we go live every Tuesday at noon Central here on our YouTube channel. We also go live at 4 p.m. Central on Mondays to answer questions there on our Facebook page. So either one, come and join us and get your questions answered. But as always, if you would rather just speak to a recruiter directly, you can do that by just calling this number here, 877-433-2537, and you'll get a hold of one of the recruiters directly. Also, you can apply online at drivedecker.com if that's easier for you. Either way, well, hello! How are you, Leotin? Good to see you. How's life treating you? It has been a bit. So yes, if you have questions, please feel free to either put them in the comments or get a hold of the recruiting department. In either of those directions, you can totally do that. In the meantime, I'd like to share a little bit about Decker, what we've got here, what we've got going on, different available positions, equipment, orientation. What else should I talk about? Oh yeah! Just kidding. 2025 Best Fleets to Drive For. Decker was named 4th year in a row one of the top best fleets to drive for 2025. So congratulations, huge congratulations to the Decker team for all of the hard work. I mean, we've got our professional drivers, we've got our office staff, and our shop employees. You guys have gone above and beyond again to make it happen. Plus, well, that's for the best fleets to drive for, but I mean, and because of that, not only are we being awarded one of the top best fleets to drive for, but also we've been seeing win after win with our teams, our internal teams, to help build our network for our professional drivers as well. So continuing to bring that, building that network for our lanes, for each of our fleets, all of that. So yes, welcome. Wow, the chat is going. Hey, Sean, how are ya? Terry's here. Leotin says, I'm doing great. Treat me great. Good. Terry, good to have you. Thank you. Mike, how the heck are ya? It has been a while. It is winter. It is definitely winter. I don't know if you can see how, this is the side of my window. You can see how bright it is. It is pure snow out there, just shining back in here. So if I start to put sunglasses on, you know why. No, welcome. Yeah, it has been cold. So, which actually that is a reminder for me. Thank you, Mike. A reminder that with the cold weather and all that stuff, please, you guys, make sure that you are treating your fuel. Not only your fuel for the truck, but also if you're a refrigerated driver, also for the trailer. That's a huge reminder, okay? Like big, bold reminding. And that's because if you guys gel up, that causes a downtime for you. It causes, I mean, it's really affects you in your downtime. So if you can treat the fuel every time you fill up, please do so. And if you're dropping a trailer, that's also very key. If you're dropping a trailer at a customer or drop yard or at a terminal, please make sure that you are also putting the additive in at that point. So yeah, obviously, flatbedders, you don't need to worry about the trailer fuel, obviously. I know I'm so funny. But refrigerated, yes, please do so. Carl, how are you? Good to have you. Thank you for joining me. I saw Trucking News said we did. Yeah, we did close that. It didn't quite make sense with, sorry, I've got stuff all over me. It didn't quite make sense with the way that we have been restructuring our lanes and focusing on our, I'm focusing on our network and the driver and our current drivers that we have. So yeah, with it being so far out of the majority of our lanes, it didn't make sense, unfortunately. So, hey, Carl, good, thank you. He says, good, good, good. But yes, Mike, we have moved quite a bit into our Des Moines area. So we've got a terminal there. We have our shop, of course, there in Des Moines, and our main terminal in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We have a terminal in Hammond, or a shop in Hammond, Indiana, a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. Yeah, so all of that. Mike says today in Michigan it's 30 degrees, 36 degrees Fahrenheit. A few days ago it was 11. Yeah, well, it's colder here. It says my diesel pickup was bogging. Oh yeah, I was trying to ride it to open to warm the oil for the oil change. Full tank with winter fuel treatment added. Dang rights. I know you need to, don't you? Um, yes, 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 yes. There's a couple of us that have. So offered to be able to stay with, and just like some of the different positions were just, or some of them moved into different positions that either fit them better or gave them the additional opportunity. So yes, good, looking out for us the best they could with that situation. Yes, absolutely. We had one night here at -7 last week. Yeah, we've had a few. Actually, it's pretty beautiful today. It was frosty, but the last, I would say, this last week has been quite cold. Yeah, and I'm a wuss, but it has definitely been chillier than it has been all winter. And I'm putting winter in quotes because we have had such a mild winter in comparison to years past. So I can't complain. You know I will, but I really shouldn't because it's been pretty decent. Yeah. Got a lot of snow over the last 2 weeks. Tons of snow, as you can see, reflecting. So, Carl says, I'm excited about going to orientation on the 24th of February. You've got a whole month. Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. Let's talk about that process, actually. Um, so, orientation this is how that process works for those who are interested. Orientation starts before you even come to orientation in Fort Dodge. If you didn't already know that. And the reason I say that is we have an online orientation that you complete prior to coming aboard. Now, that said, it saves you a whole lot of time in Fort Dodge, so you're not here a full week. Unless you're a student, then you are here a full week, but it still cuts your time in quite a bit. But so you have a 3-day orientation in Fort Dodge, but prior to coming to Fort Dodge, you'll have an online orientation, which that really is that consists of a number of modules. Some of them are going to be videos followed by a few questions. Some of them are going to be images followed by a few questions. Others will be text, maybe an article, followed by a few questions. And you kind of move one module at a time through it. That's before you even come to orientation. You also will complete your physical if you need a new one. Now, if you have one, that's good for another 6+ months. If you had a year physical that you've got another 6 months on, then we can use that one. Otherwise, we'll arrange for a new physical for you. We will also arrange for your drug tests. We do both the hair follicle and the urinalysis. So we do both of those. Ideally, get all of that done before you come to Fort Dodge, because you'll get, well, one, you get an extra $100. Two, which is even nicer, saves you a whole lot of time. But those things are going to be done ahead of time. Now, as far as transportation, we normally do a rental car. That seems the most convenient for most people. However, we can do flights, if that's easier for others, depending on where you're coming from. If you're coming from Seattle, Washington, or Atlanta, Georgia, our corners, right? If you're coming from our corners, then yeah, you might choose to fly versus drive. Either one, we'll work with it. We do have a repayment plan, so I should mention that as well. When you're thinking about transportation, we're looking at that as well. The repayment plan is you'll see it on your online orientation. But what that is just recognizing that, hey, Decker has put this much into you already for coming aboard to orientation. If you left in the first 6 months, you could be responsible for a portion of that. Every month we knock $100 off of it. So that's where you'll want to look at your, you know, what would it cost for a flight versus what would it cost for a rental car, that type of thing, and gas and stuff. That's all going to be tacked on to that repayment agreement. But like I said, every month we knock $100 off. At 6 months, it's null and void. Doesn't even matter if there's an extra $500 on it or whatever. We do try to keep that lower for you, for just in case, but that it's null and void after 6 months. So, and you're not paying any of that back at that point. It's just more of a what was the word I wanted? Right at the tip of my tongue. Just part of recognizing that that's what that is. What's the word I want? Yes. Let's see. Cold in Michigan feels so much colder than Colorado and Utah. Is that thinner air? Well, maybe less humidity. Maybe it is. It's chilly here. We didn't really have any humidity. It's very dry here right now. And we have a nasty wind. It's the wind that's evil. That's evil. Carl says, yes, man, doing it right now. Yes, Luma. That's right. Online training is our Luma platform. He lives in Tennessee, so maybe a rental car would be the most convenient for you. Yeah. Terry says, orientation was great. People were great, and they feed you well. Dang right. It's all about a good meal, right? Maybe that's just my... what's my altitude? You can't be asking questions I don't know the answer to. I know I should know the answer, but I'm Googling. Altitude of, let's see. I'm looking it up. I was gonna say 3,500, but it's actually 3,300 where I'm at. I was so close. I should know. I know it's sad. But yeah, we're 3,300. 3,330. There we go. But yeah, good food. That's a good deal. When you come to orientation or when you come to Fort Dodge, we put you up in a hotel. We'll take care of your meals. And you do get a meal ticket, like it's, a little card for a nearby restaurant to your hotel. And your hotel room, we're not shacking you up with anybody. They are solo rooms. So you can have that, just downtime when you come back from orientation. And orientation's usually between, 7 and 4, 4:30. Some days go a little bit longer, depending on, how many people are in orientation, what the questions are. Like who has questions and how in depth they want to go. But my advice would be to not shush people who have questions. Not that you would, but I'm just saying, like, if someone's asking questions, latch onto it. Like, feed into those questions so that they can be answered before you go out on the road. You're going to have a lot of information at you in a short period of time. So we do assign ambassadors to you. So you have someone to kind of reach out to and connect with and ask questions when you're out on the road, like, hey, what's the benefit information? Or when do I do this? Or, what's the scorecard thing about? You're going to have a lot of questions when you're done, and you'll have somebody you'll be able to go to in addition to your driver leader. So you've got your driver leader as well, of course, but we do try to give you as much information as possible in orientation without your head exploding, because we do feel it's important that you know everything that you're stepping into, what kind of position it is, what the lanes are looking like, what kind of support you're getting. And most of those questions are going to be answered ahead of time. But if you're anything like me, I like the consistency from one, like the handoff, like you're talking to the recruiter, yay, they're praising the company and they're telling you all the accolades and we got this and we got that. And I like the fact that the consistency from their message to those who are doing the orientation, like the trainers, and then you're going to get the consistency with the driver leaders as well, right? You're not going to be like, that person, they shouldn't have said that. That's not right. You know what? That is not what I want to hear. I want that consistency throughout. So you'll be getting that. Some of it'll be repetitive. You'll probably be very thankful that it's repetitive because it'll stick a little bit. But you'll also get, I should go grab my book here, but you'll also get a workbook that you don't have to fill out, but it's a workbook that has information in it. So it's more of a notebook or it's more of a manual, but it has your contact information, like those key contacts for you. It'll have some troubleshooting tips. The maintenance department spent definitely some time with us to go through some of those maintenance tips, like FAQs that they get all the time, and we put them in that book for you so that you can kind of get to it a little bit easier. We do have a lot of tips on our YouTube channel. You've probably already seen that, as well as our, YouTube channel would probably be the best, but also on your tablet. So you'll have your TransFlow tablet, your GeoTab tablet in the truck with TransFlow on it. And you'll also be able to access the TransFlow app on your phone if you'd like to do that. And the videos are there also. So hopefully you'll have access to all of that. But yes, that's the process. Mike says, I lived in Dillon, Colorado, 9,100 feet. Holy smoly. There is 40% thinner there at 10,000 feet. Thus, it does not feel as cold. Yeah, because you can't feel anything at that point. You're barely breathing. You're like walking up a flight of stairs, just huffing and puffing, right? All right, maybe not that bad. Carl says, what is the average age of the equipment and which of the truck brands do you all have the most of? I'm going into the refrigerated division. Ooh, that's a great question. So most of our trucks are the 579 Peterbilts. We have Volvos and we have Freightliners as well. The Freightliners are Cascadia Evolutions, and the Volvos for the refrigerated division, the Volvos are 860s, and then for the flatbed division, they're 740 Volvos. But the majority, like 96%, maybe more, of our trucks are Peterbilts. And most of those Peterbilts are the 579s. We have a few 389s, and those have been assigned to our veteran drivers who it's kind of an earned status. You get, they're a little bit more, you get to spec them a little bit. They are, if you've seen the 389s, there's a whole lot of chrome on those. They're beautiful trucks. But they aren't as roomy as the 579s. The sleepers are not as roomy as the 579s. But they are definitely sought after. And then now the newer ones, instead of the 389s, now we have the 589s. Those are the newest trucks that go to our veteran drivers. And when I say veteran drivers, I'm talking about drivers who have been here for 15 years, and they get the first dibs on those usually. So those 589s are roomy as well. I'm trying to think anything. They're pretty similar as the style as the 389s. Now they've got some chrome on them, of course, as well. They are all automatic. So if you get a manual, I'd be very surprised. I don't know how many manuals we actually have left, but from here on out, they're all automatic. And it's hard to even get them in manual anymore. I'm sure you guys know that. But so they're automatic. 15. I'm just trying to think of all the specs on the what do I want to say on the equipment. But that said, they all have refrigerators, and the newer model, the average age, sorry, that's a backpedal here. The average age is about 1.8 years. So you're looking at 3, maybe a little over 3 years max for the trucks. You're not seeing anything over than that. But yeah, Sean says, I came out of orientation and put into a 2025 579 Pete. Woohoo! Love it! That said, Sean is a rehire. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. I mean, full disclosure. Maybe not. Maybe it's just availability too. And that's week by week. So I can't promise one way or the other. Carl says, I love the Cascadias, but the 579s are pretty sweet. Yeah, the trucks are all pretty sweet, and they have all kinds of amenities. The refrigerators, oh, that's where I was going. So the newer model Peterbilts, they have 3.2 cubic feet or 3.2 cubic foot refrigerators. The older Pete's, and like I said, when I'm saying older, I'm talking 3 years. Those are, I think, 1.8. So a significant difference in the refrigerator side from our older model Pete's to our newer model. The Volvos and the Freightliners, they have the larger fridge as well. I think that's 3. Maybe they're 3.2. They're some of them are 3.2, but they're larger fridges for sure. Carl says that's awesome, Sean. Riley, how are you, bud? Good to see you, man. Terry says, I got a 23 579 back in June when I came on. Yeah, so that's another good point. He's got the 23, so it depends. Like we started getting some of these trucks already, some of our newer models. And this is actually a little bit earlier than I'm used to getting them. I think we usually get them around April when they start coming in well, we're going to start seeing even newer models then. 26 probably. It's come March, April, somewhere around there. Yeah. Carl says bigger the better. Yeah, the 579s are very roomy. They're nice trucks. Those are the majority. So I would expect that that's what you would get, but I'm not promising because I don't want to promise something that I have no control over, especially when it's a month out, and that could of course have a factor. At that point, we could have different trucks coming in, rotating through and that kind of thing. So yeah, but it's a great question. All the amenities that I've started to tell you about, and I keep veering off, and I apologize. The amenities are refrigerators, and I told you the size there. So the refrigerators, bunk heaters, of course. We've got the inverter and the bunk heaters. We've got the APU units. That's another point I wanted to make. Your APU unit is diesel. If you are not adding or putting additive in your diesel fuel for your truck, it doesn't get to your APU, and therefore that whole thing could not work, right? So not just the truck, but the APU. You don't want to freeze. Put the additive in. If it's 18 degrees or below, or you're going through an area that's 18 degrees or below, put it in. Okay. I'm off the soapbox. Just temporarily, I'm sure, but I'm off it for now. Okay, you have the APU unit. The new Thermo King Tri-Pack 3, that's on the newer trucks, the newest trucks. What else do we have? We have CB units in the truck. So all of our trucks are equipped with CB units. I think the majority of them are the Cobra 25. And then we have Epic View streaming. So it's 100 plus channels of like streaming. You've got HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, 100 channels. Well, more than 100 channels to choose from. And so that's available to you. You have double bunk trucks. They are double bunk. So whether you're using the double bunk for a passenger, ages 10 and up, or you use it for storage, that sucker's there. And microwaves. I didn't mention the microwave yet. Yeah, we have microwaves in the truck as well. So very, very well equipped units. They're nice. They're beautiful. I was gonna say sleeper size, but the bed size, mattress size is an extra large twin. So when you're looking for sheets, and comforters or whatever, you want to make sure that it fits an extra large twin. That's the size. Yes, Terry says trucks have fridge, microwave, TV. Oh yeah, and it comes with a TV too. It's a 22-inch smart TV. Inverter, CB, APU bunk heater, Epic View TV, yes. Which also we have streaming. We have Wi-Fi streaming available to you through the Epic View, but we also have it through the TransFlow or through the GeoTab as well. Either one, but it's data on the GeoTab. It's streaming on the TV, so it's a lot faster that way. But yes, cool. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. I do. So yeah, that's the that's that. That's the amenities. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Lots of them. We love it. We love it. I love it. Carl says, I was told you have Wi-Fi in the trucks too. Yep, that's the streaming, the Wi-Fi streaming from Epic View. But again, we have it on the tablet. It's better at the Epic View. A lot. Like you can, and it depends on where you're at because it is streaming. So I believe it's 5G and I believe it's Verizon. So, if you're in an area that Verizon isn't strong, which would be my neck of the woods, then you're not going to have a great signal. But remember, I'm in Montana, and sometimes we're just a few years behind. Hotspot on the tablet. Yes, that's better explained. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, so it's data on the tablet. It's a hotspot that can be used. It's really easy to set up if need be, but the best would be through the streaming. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. What else can I tell you? Oh, I do want to take a second. I'm just thinking here. I think we hit everything on orientation as far as transportation. Transportation we take care of. Hotel, meals. Meals are usually brought in to orientation, but for like lunch. Breakfast, I think, is normally at the hotel. And then, like I said, for dinner, we usually get you a meal ticket to feed you. There's some good spots around the area, too. So where your hotel is, you're near Hy-Vee, you're near Walmart, you're near Marshall's. I don't know if you care about that. There's a couple of different restaurants that are within walking distance. They're pretty quick. And you're not that far from the terminal, but we will come and pick you up and bring you over. So if you are, if you take a rental car, then we'll have you drop off the rental car in the morning, and then we'll bring you over in our bigger van to orientation, getting you started. But the orientation process itself, they'll go through a lot of company policies and procedures. So that's in Fort Dodge. That's starting in Fort Dodge. We'll go through a lot of that. You'll meet several of the different department heads as well, which is nice because then you've got that connection with them. Like put face to name. I like that. And then if you need to reach out to them on a matter later on or just a question, you can go ahead and do so. You'll have their contact information. You'll meet with your driver leader, of course. Usually you'll meet with your recruiter and your driver leader, kind of an intro. And then you'll have some time with the shop. That shop time is pretty valuable as well because they will walk you through some of the things that they've got in the workbook, in the manual thing, that they'll walk you through how to troubleshoot the APU unit and the bunk heaters, and because all of them are just a little bit different, and we do have several different videos on our YouTube for the one for the Freightliner, one for the Volvos, and one for the Peterbilt, and some of them, sometimes multiple for the Peterbilt, depending on the bunk heater. We had Wabassos, and then now we have the newer model. We have the older generation for the APU versus the newer. So we have different troubleshooting that you'll be able to access online, but also they go through that during the maintenance, and then they'll go through a checklist as well on the truck. So when you are assigned your truck, you're walking through, you're kind of looking through it. It's like a pre-trip, but maybe a little bit more in depth in case you have questions on. Because a pre-trip, you're really not having to work the Epic View. So that will give you an opportunity to learn the Epic View. Again, which is the TV streaming and everything. And that also, I didn't mention, but that's company paid. Epic View is company paid. We do have, our trucks are equipped with the Sirius radio, or radio equipped. However, that would be a subscription that you would need to hold versus the TV that Decker takes care of. So if you want that, it's there, it's all equipped. You would just have to have the subscription. If you would rather, you could stream a podcast or a book. I like books. You could stream books on and things like that. Yeah, through the Wi-Fi. Anyways, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, so that's kind of walking through everything with the maintenance department, getting comfortable with your truck. If you are somebody who needs additional training, so if you're brand new and you just are a recent graduate of an approved school, then you'll go through, instead of a 3-day orientation, you'll have a 5-day orientation. If you're going into flatbed, you'll have the tarping and securement training as well to go through that. If you're an experienced flatbedder, you'll go through the testing, or the tarping and securement testing, and then move on, test out of it basically. For further, if you don't have any experience, then you kind of do a deeper dive into the different tarping and securement methods. If you're going into flatbed, I would highly suggest also watching some of our YouTube videos on tarping and securement, because then you can see the more, the Decker way of doing it versus others that are out there. And so when you are going through the tarping and securement training in Fort Dodge, you'll be familiar with it. It wouldn't replace the tarping securement training, but it will definitely help you understand and maybe pick up on it quicker, is what I would suggest. Carl says, I'll be going with a trainer after orientation. Can the trainer release you early if he or she feels that you're good to go on your own? Maybe not too early. I mean, we'd still have a requirement because of some of our policies. So it's not like you might not go a full 3 weeks with the trainer, but you could go 2. I mean, maybe you would go a little bit early, but they do want to see you in several different circumstances to make sure that you're comfortable and that you instead of throwing you to the wolves, without a whole lot of guidance. So maybe 2 weeks. You might not do the full 3, but I wouldn't expect you to be put on your own at 1 week. I'd be very surprised on that. They definitely have things that they need to go over, and it gives them a little bit more time to work with you on that. And now that you bring up training, when you're going with a trainer, you'll have the trainer will drive some initially, and then as you get more and more comfortable, your hours will get longer, kind of ease you into a full day of driving, where instead of the trainer doing a lot of the driving and you doing a little bit here and there, you're kind of building up I want to say immune system, but you're really building up your time behind the wheel on a day-to-day basis. So it's increasing so that you're getting used to driving longer hours, instead of all of a sudden here I am driving 8-10 hours a day and I was used to driving 1 or something like that. Especially when you're brand new. Your miles or your dispatches will be based on solo runs, not on team miles. So even though you're going to be with a trainer, you're not being dispatched out in a team manner, because the trainer needs to be alert and able to be right there and there and then and there. Okay, when you're driving, because they're teaching, they're training. It's not a team. I only say this because I've seen it with other companies where they do more of a team style driving, but you're on your own at that point, and then they'd be in the sleeper and they're not giving you the guidance. So it's not like that. It is true training opportunity for you. There's a long answer. Sorry, Carl. It'll happen. I do it all the time. I'm terrible at that. Sean says my Epic View is not working. Okay, so troubleshooting for the Epic View. We do have a couple of troubleshooting videos on our YouTube. But what I would do is I would unplug everything and then I would plug it back in and see if that works, first of all. Do not push the reset button. And I would also you can call the shop. There's a couple of different ways to start the troubleshooting. You can call the shop, okay? And the other option is to call DirecTV. You would probably, DirecTV is who owns Epic View, by the way. The reason being is if it's hardware, it'll need to be Decker that replaces and fixes it. So it'll need to be the shop. If it's the software and kind of behind the scenes, then Epic View or DirecTV is going to be able to troubleshoot that for you. But you'll need to check all of the connections, because that's one thing that we do see is that sometimes the connections are loose, and if the connections are loose, then it won't work and it'll be a pain in your rear. So you just need to tighten all those connections. So yeah. I thought I saw another comment. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on. Now, as far as benefits and stuff, that's all going to start after 60 days. So you have 60 days from from when you start. So it's usually the first of the month for the 401k, usually the first month following your 60 days. But we have a 25% match on the 401k. We have company paid life insurance, paid vacation. So company paid life insurance is $10,000 on you, $5,000 on your spouse, and $2,500 on dependents. Where was I going with that? Some of the other benefits, life insurance, disability, critical care. There's a lot of insurances, like supplemental insurances that you can kind of stack onto that if you'd like. So check those out. We also are now using Aplos. And, oh goodness, I almost forgot to mention. The 31st, Friday, is the last day to download the Aplos Health app and get into the drawing for a $50 gift card. Okay? So, and that said, you do need to be here at Decker already in order to qualify for that. So if you are already working with for Decker, download your Aplos app, that's hard to say real quick, and we'll be able to print off who downloaded it and register. You have to download and register, meaning you have to plug in your health information on that for it to work. So we have until the 31st to do that, and then you'll be in for a $50 gift card. Yes, indeedy. So yeah, Sean, as far as the Epic View, let me know if that worked. Reach out to the shop, like I said. If once you check all of the connections, you can reach out to the shop and reach out to DirecTV. I would start with DirecTV first, and then reach out to the shop, and you should have all of that contact information in your orientation manual workbook thing. Cool? All right. What else can I tell you? Benefits, medical, dental, vision, prescription benefits. Yes, we have great prescription benefits. It's $0 generic copays, and we have $0 specialty and branding as well. There's a little different path on each of them. For the $0 generic, that's pretty much everywhere except for Walgreens and CVS. So you can get $0 generic there. As far as branding and specialty, you can get those ordered. They have their different ones as well. But you go through the right way, and you do not have a copay. So huge savings. I had a couple of people tell me how much they've saved on the prescriptions. First of all, I did not know that how much people spend on prescriptions, and that alone blows my mind. Kind of makes me furious. But that said, you if you use our insurance, it's $0 copays. So you have that opportunity. It's a huge savings, you guys. I had some people tell me $1,800 a month is what they were paying for one prescription. One prescription, $1,800 a month. It's now $0. Under our prescription plan, it was $0 for a copay. Same prescription. It was the same specialty drug. They were able to access it. So yeah, I would check with them if you coming aboard and you're curious. The recruiting department will have access. We'll be able to like send you some of the benefit information ahead of time so that you can take a look at it and explore coverage. Because for some of you, if you had a prescription that was that hefty, that's something that you would need to know whether or not it was covered before coming aboard. I would think if it was me, I would want to know ahead of time, because $1,800 is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I know not all of them are that expensive, but I've had multiple people tell me the high cost for insurance or for prescriptions for them in the past. So yeah, savings we love, right? Let's see, orientation. You get paid every Friday, direct deposit. So when you're coming in for orientation, you get paid $500 for completing that. You also get $100 for completing the online orientation and your drug test and physical, doing all that ahead of time. So before you get to orientation, remember, you get that. So $600, you get that on Friday of the week of orientation. And then you'll have the minimum pay will cover you in case you don't get the miles. The miles and your rate of pay per mile. So your rate of pay per mile is based off of your experience level, right? And the miles are being available, making yourself available and making sure that you're maximizing those, of course, as best you can. And then your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you ran, that pay is every Friday direct deposit. You got to get your paperwork in by Tuesday night in order to get paid Friday. But we do have a minimum pay that's kind of a safety net for you. Just know that minimum pay is a safety net. Ideally, you want your miles, you want to make sure you're maximizing your miles. That's where you're going to usually make more money. That minimum pay, though, is very nice to have because it is a safety net. And, if the weather is in the way or something like that, unexpected weather, or could be a number of things. But be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no late loads, no CSA points, no preventable accidents. And like I said, maximize your hours. And then, of course, get your paperwork in on time. So those are the 6 requirements for getting the minimum pay or having that minimum pay available. It is not based off of the miles that you ran, but it'll protect you in case you don't. So there's that. But yeah, the miles that you run, that's where you will see a bigger difference. That's usually what you want to see. All right. I want to take a second, and this is where I was going in a minute. I want to make sure that I announce and talk about the Driver of the Month winners for December. It's actually December. So our Driver of the Months they get a $100 gift card for a Walmart gift card, and then they also get a $50 gift card to the Decker store. There you go. Talking too fast. So those are what they win as a Driver of the Month. We have 5 Driver of the Months. One for the OTR Refrigerated Dry Van Division, one for the more regional Dry Van Refrigerated Division, and one for the Flatbed Division, Midwest Flatbed, one for the Over-the-Road Flatbed, and then one for our Owner-Operator Lease Purchase Division. So 5 different divisions, and the winners each get $100 Walmart gift card and a $50 gift card to the Decker store. We also have a couple of runner-ups, and that depends on the different division, because our over-the-road refrigerated dry van division, that one isn't as big as our Midwest refrigerated dry van division. So that one, we only have one runner-up in that division. We'll have two in our more Midwest refrigerated division. Our flatbed division, our Midwest, we don't have a runner-up because that's going to be one of our smaller divisions. So kind of gives you an idea. Same with owner-operated lease purchase. Okay, so huge congratulations, round of applause. These are December's winners because they are calculated around the third pay period of the month following when they ran it. Your scorecard and your safety bonus definitely are factors in your driver of the month running. And then that's just the start though, because then you go on to the nominations or go on to the different stats and they'll look a little bit deeper and see who earned the driver of the year or driver of the month. Then the driver of the month, you only can be driver of the month one time within a 12-month calendar year. And then the driver of the month goes into running for driver of the year. So you can't have more than 12 driver of the year or 12 driver of the months in driver of the year for any calendar year. So you're going up against 11 others for your division for driver of the year. And driver of the year per division gets a $3,000 bonus. Usually around March, April. At the end of the first quarter, we do an awards ceremony, and it's usually a pretty big event, and we have a lot of fun with it. But that is where we will do the recognition for driver of the year for each of the divisions, and then from there, we name one person, one of our professional drivers, as our grand champion. And that's when we really dive deep into all the numbers. And that grand champion wins $15,000. And funny enough, I don't know if it's too funny, but interesting enough, one of our driver of the months for December was our very first grand champion back in 2016 when we started this. So congratulations to Art Club, who was our over-the-road refrigerated dry van winner for December. Our last one for 2024. So congrats, Art. Scott Schrimmer is our runner-up for that division. Our our Midwest refrigerated van division winner is Christopher Zwick. So congratulations, Christopher. Christopher took the $100 Walmart gift card and the $50 gift card to the Decker store, so he'll be winning that. Martin Blanker and Gary Garrison are our runner-ups for that division, so congratulations to both of them. Troy is our winner for our Midwest flatbed division, so congratulations. Damien Guthrie is our winner for our owner-operator lease purchase division. Congrats, Damien. And for our over-the-road flatbed division, Dwayne Washington takes the title, so congrats, Dwayne. And our runner-up is Kevin Rolls. So congratulations, Kevin. I wanted to make sure I gave you a chance to hear the driver of the month winners. Did an excellent job. And of course, we're starting a new year, so new opportunities for a driver of the month and running for driver of the year. I'm not sure when we'll get out the information on who won the driver of the year. It's usually closer to the end of the first quarter, but we're working on it already, I can tell you that, in getting all of the numbers, the stats, the details behind the scenes. So we'll be sharing that with you as well very, very soon. Another reminder, so speaking of gift cards and stuff like that, another reminder is for those of you who did not already claim their holiday gift card, like if you didn't redeem it yet, please do so. And if you don't have the code, get with your driver leader because your driver leader has the code. The gift card, it was a $50 gift card, Pilot Flying J gift card. And what you do is you put the code onto your rewards app for Pilot Flying J, and you can spend the money now. You can spend the money, in a year or two. It's